GM, G-Mech, G-Mission, G-Mod. Welcome to Paradigm Live, the one place every week where you can come and catch up on everything CyberBrokers. My name's Mike Carterell. I'm Community Manager for CyberBrokers and a friendly leftover. We are missing Brianna today, but we have some special guests from the factions who are going to have some great conversation. I apologize, Brianna. We're probably going off the rails without you. So let's see what happens. Before we start, let's get into what CyberBrokers is. For those who don't know, CyberBrokers is a metaverse-native media and entertainment company that's building a captivating universe through beautiful collectibles, engaging content, and interactive experiences, like we've seen in versions beta. Check us out on our website, cyberbrokers.com, and make sure to follow us on Twitter, CyberBrokers with an underscore. We have two primary collections, CyberBrokers from last year, Genesis Mechs from this year, and Mech Mods, which we're going to talk about a little bit today. As far as an agenda, we're going to briefly go through the events this week. We're going to get into exactly what version beta rewards are. We're going to talk about the missions this week, which are pretty light. And then we're going to talk about some events, the Runway Rave and the Point Inkwell Rendezvous. And then I also wanted to make sure people got notification of the Mona Shorts Festival that is going on. So events this week, office hours, like usual, Tuesdays, 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Central Time. On Wednesday, we have our Mech Runway Rave. Try saying that 3 times fast. We've had a little competition internally who can do that without messing up. Anyway, the rave is 2 p.m. on Wednesday. We're going to talk about that. 2 p.m. Central on Wednesday. We're going to talk about that a little more. Game night, Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Central. And then the rendezvous in Inkwell, 11 a.m. on Thursday Central Time. We'll talk about that more later. So, if you haven't been paying attention, this is the end of version beta missions. We're not going to go into all the details about this because we've been talking about it for 8 weeks, and we're just going to say it ends on July 31st. So if you want rewards, you better start participating and get all those missions completed. Pop into Discord, people happy to help out. Okay. Let's talk about beta rewards and let's bring up our special guests. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, thanks so much for having us.
Chaos Princess, do you want to go first?
Of course, always. So
okay.
I'm totally stoked to be with CyberBrokers and to have my 2 leftover lovers and my 3 mechs and to be here on the panel today. So thanks a million for having us. I'm a social VR artist and evangelist, having been building on all kinds of social VR platforms since 2016, created my first experimental NFT in 2018, and have now a AI VR project called Quantum Bar, which hosts a GPT-3 driven chatbot in social VR, deployable on all kinds of platforms. But I'm especially grateful to CyberBrokers to get me back into like the NFT business and communities, and also stoked that it made me lick blood with Hyperfi, because this is such
you've been having fun building, and we'll get to that later on in the discussion part. What faction are you representing?
The wonderful, amazing Winners Circle.
Awesome. Okay, Merc, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Merc, mod, deputy for Soldiers of Solea. Really excited to get the alpha today on the mech part bundles and the mods.
Sweet. Thank you both for joining, and let's have a conversation about what beta rewards are. Let me pull a slide back up. So there are two parts to beta rewards. The first is the exclusive Mech Mods, which came out in the newsletter, and those will be claimable in Q4 when Mech Mod collection is released. The second part, which was in Discord, is there's a Mech part bundle, which will be claimable in August, soon after beta ends. So let's get into what each of these are. So the Mech Mods, I think, is what everyone's most interested in. So let's do those first. So they're exclusive, meaning the only way to get them is to participate in beta rewards. There'll be a snapshot on the 31st of July, 11 a.m. Central. So the Monday, like normal, when a mission would start. And there are 3 Mech Mods, one for each world. So Abyssia, Wasteland, and Inkwell. The Mech Mods go to the factions based upon voting. So this week, you will be able to vote in your bracer. Everyone's going to have 3 buttons, of which one they want to pick. And then based upon those numbers and the order of the faction competition will determine what people get. Does that part make sense? Mark, any questions on that?
None so far.
Okay. So you won't know. It's going to be a blind vote. Okay. So you won't know the results until July 31st. Okay. So we'll end voting on the same day we take the snapshot. Okay. Each player will get 1 of the Mech Mods. The rarity is equal to the assets owned. CyberBrokers, a higher weight. Genesis Mechs, a lower weight. And then Collab Collection. And the Collab Collection is pretty simple. It only counts once. So for those people that are playing that don't own any CyberBroker assets, that's where the Collab Collection count will come in. Okay. Does that make sense? Okay. So I want to do an example. So if we look at Abyssia here, these are listed in common to rare. So the common one would be Deep Sea Driftstone. The middle tier would be Tide Glow Tritonite. And then the rare one would be Salt Bloom Siren Scale. Okay. So let's pretend your faction got Abyssia. The count of assets would determine which of those 3 you got. Does that make sense? Okay, this is too easy. I was expecting to get grilled. Okay, so let me go through the other 2 quickly. So Wasteland, a common, same thing, Sewer Spewer, Crud Caddy, Muck Mauler. And then for Inkwell, the common is like the white organic. The black is the mid tier. And then the gold is the rare one. Cake. So assets by player or by faction. So your faction vote determines which of these Mech Mods your faction gets. Okay. Then as a player in that faction, your asset composition, brokers and mechs, determine which of these you'll get. Does that make sense, Cake? Okay, we'll keep going. So I thought it would be cool to show a 3D video. So this is the common tier of the first one. This is the common tier of Inkwell. And Merc, I know you commented on the eyes before. Is that a better shot?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And this third one, I hope I wanted to do this because there's a lot of detail on this third one, and I wasn't sure people were seeing it.
Oh, wow. That changes a lot.
The transparent glass is a little hard to see in some cases, but you can see the tops of them. And then on the bigger one, there's actually like a little crack there. I don't know if everyone saw that. Let me do that again and stop here. Let's see if I can stop this. Rotate it. There you go. You can't see it that great in this view, but on that top right of the glass, there's a little crack, and then you saw like all the stickers underneath, right? Okay, comments, thoughts? You guys are all quiet.
One total noob question. What actually, apart from being beautiful, is that? Like the other ones I could identify as wings, but
Yes.
this is like a fire starter.
This is we'll call this a backpack. Okay. And so while you can certainly attach these things in worlds like you saw in Inkwell, you could put the wings on your avatars. They will have special benefits in the upcoming gamification.
Oh.
So each one of these will have things that play out in the game. Obviously, the higher tier, the more of whatever that is to help you out. I can't really say much more on that. So there's two parts to a mech mod. The first is using to accentuate your avatars, like you mentioned, and then the second is there will be special purposes in the game for mech mods. Okay, there's a good question here. Let me come back to the screen. Should I be building my remaining mechs? If you feel like you have a good amount of mechs not built, it would probably be a good idea to build them before the 31st, because mechs count towards which rarity you get. Yes. And one more thing on that, disassembly, I think Vote asked this earlier in Discord, disassembly will be coming soon after the end of beta, so you have the ability to pull them all back apart if you want. Go ahead, Cass.
So if I get an additional broker till July 31st, will that also count?
Any assets before July 31st,
Nice.
well, the snapshot will be taken at 11 a.m. Central Time, so noon Eastern. Okay, any assets you have in your wallets that are associated with what you put in your bracer, including delegate wallets, okay, will count. And just a reminder, there's only one mech mod per player, so we're not doing a multiples per brokers or multiples per mechs. So these are going to be very rare assets. Could potentially be the most rare assets of the entire mech mod collection, because you won't be able to buy them later. You could certainly sell and trade them, but only way to get them, play version beta missions. Let's see, does the backpack activate a game gun? Blah, blah, blah. We're not saying yet. Sorry. And then does the rarest ones have better stats than the common ones, or it's just cosmetic? There will be different game play abilities. I don't know the right way to say this. Having a rare one will get you more in the game. Simple answer. Besides, the rare ones look cooler. Okay. Sorry. Chaos. Merc, questions?
At the
As far
moment,
as
I'm happy.
Oh, yeah. You both went at the same time. Chaos first.
I'm totally happy and positively overwhelmed.
Okay. So you like it. Merc.
no question so far. Seeing the 3D models though, like blowing me away.
Yeah. And so, as you can probably guess, from watching mechs, get created over months, the 3D assets, this isn't something that was started today. So these mech mods have been under work for a while. So you will see similar quality to mechs with mech mods. Okay. I like that one. Can we hunt ghosts with the backpack? And if you put them on, you can do whatever creative you want with them. Okay, let's finish out. I should have jumped to this earlier. So the mech mods are launching in Q4 of 2023. So you will get a claim as a reward that you can use when they launch to get your mech mods. They're visually stunning 3D assets. They, enhance your abilities of mechs in the CyberBrokers universe. A reminder, Genesis mechs require an operator. We'll come back to that one again. And they're equipable in 3D worlds, so let the FOMO begin. Let's switch to the mech part bundle. So the primary focus of the rewards is the mech mods. At the same time, we want to reward people who've been playing with some additional parts to use. So this part bundle will be multiple parts. They will be revealed mech parts and afterglow, a combination of those. It will be more than one. It will be more than one model for the mech parts. We're keeping the details of that a secret until after the snapshot, but once the snapshot is taken, we'll let you know, and those will be claimable almost within the next couple weeks after that. So some more mech parts to play with. Once disassembly comes, which should be right around the same time, you can take things apart, change them. Any questions there? Okay. Let's talk about the missions this week. Okay, so this is the final week. It's going to be easy. Okay. The primary thing you need to do is you need to vote, basically. Which of those three sets of assets, mech mods, would you like? We've got a survey we'd like you to fill out. Tell us what you liked, what you didn't like. And then there's two events that we'd like to see if we can get you to attend. The Runway Rave and the meeting at Rendezvous Point, which we'll get to in a minute. So I kind of already talked about all those. So let's talk about the Runway Rave. This one I'm really looking forward to. Brianna's had this idea for a while, and it's beautiful to see it coming to life. So July 26th, 2 p.m. Central. It's the version beta missions finale party. Josie will be there to kick things off, and probably some alpha like usual. We're going to have a runway competition and a giveaway. So you guys have probably been in the Mona mech dressing room, right? Where all the 50 mechs are, Merc?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what we did is Mona was kind enough to put a runway down the middle, and they put barriers up so people can't be on the runway while you are. And we're going to do a live stream event with commentary, and people can, in sequence, go down the runway, and Josie, Brianna, and I are going to comment, and then we're going to pick the mech we like the most based upon your moves. So start practicing those emojis moves in Mona and figure out how to use them while moving. And then afterwards, there's going to be a DJ set by Broadsides, which we love. And it's open to all. You don't have to be an owner. That room has all 50 mechs you can equip. So welcome to everyone to pop in and strut their stuff. Which mech do you think you're going to pick, Chaos Princess?
That leads to my first question. Do I need to choose one of my 3, or can I do all of them? I love them all so much.
I would state that you should probably pick a primary. Maybe we'll let everyone run through once, and then if there's extra time, we could, continue the party.
Then for sure it's gonna be Kaiserin of Elite Bunny.
Ooh, I've seen that one. I like that one.
Oh, that one.
Yep. Mark, how about you?
Probably Goofy Gus, my Wowie.
I am going to build one this week specifically for the purpose of that challenge. I want to see if I can create something that would look cool on the runway, and more about the dance moves. I haven't practiced much with the dance moves in Mona. Have either of you? No?
Which leads me yet to another question. If I hack my Firefox or Chrome, is Mona accessible in VR?
Good question. I do not know that. We'll have to ask. Yeah, I do not know that question. That would be a really cool experience. Put on the goggles and.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I made it work in Hyper-Fi. I had to switch the viewpoint because I was like inside the cockpit and didn't see anything.
Yeah.
And the goggles, but you can use Blender to put the eyes a bit more forward.
So would you have full control of the mech, including like the arms that way?
Yes. Yeah. In Hyper-Fi it works.
And Merc, you've done this in other apps, right? Like VR chat.
Yeah, I've done it in VR chat, and yeah, usually the one of the bigger things is just getting the where the camera's supposed to be, so that you're not stuck inside of it. And
what, Merc, you're using something for controls other than hands, right?
90% of the times I'm just using hand controls, but I do have trackers that I've been experimenting with, but they're not as easy to use as just using your hand track or controls.
What do you call the grabby things?
So you got like VR controllers that could be Index or Quest or whatever company, HTC.
Yeah.
And then I have that also. You can do full body tracking by attaching a tracker to your hip and 2 trackers to your feet.
Oh,
then
wow.
your whole limb collection does what you do in real life in VR.
So there's a competitive advantage. If you can get all that working, you could have more control than someone with just keyboard.
Definitely with the arms still, I have not yet made full body tracking working on WebXR platforms. So it works in VR chat, it works in Neos, it works in Overte. Still for like the purely web-based platforms, you're also dependent on what the platform offers.
Supports. Got it. Okay. There is a question from the audience for you, Merc. They're wondering why you didn't pick Nico-chan.
Nico-chan is a commodity. Wowie is who I am as a person. I identify as a Wowie.
Wow, that's enlightening news compared to the initial days of mechs.
it's totally different once you see them like in 3D and all that. Like it totally changes your perspective compared to like the 2D images. And it's the same thing with these mech mods. Is you go in looking at one thing and you're like, oh, that's cool, and then you see all the details and you're like, okay, I think I have a totally different take on that.
Yes, I would agree. My whole thought process on mechs changed after looking at the 3D assets, because there's so many more details on the back sides, than what you see in the 2D pictures. Did any of your thoughts change, Chaos Princess, when you got the 3D mech versus just seeing the pictures?
Well, actually, like I was super happy with my other two mechs. Like I got the whimsical Wastelander, which is like a combination of Ravager and Enforcer, which looked amazing already with the random parts I got. Then I built also Vogue Boomerang for her. I got like one Demolisher arm and the Demolisher body, so I got a second arm to make it more symmetric. And I already was given like the sentient legs, but then like when I was like tweaking, like what do I do with my parts and what do I need to acquire to make them look good, then I was like totally triggered to build like a custom mech, and so I got the parts for Queen of Elite Bunny, because I love the Queen's insect-like body, and was really stoked with that. The only wish I have maybe for the next mech edition is it would be amazing to have more female heads.
Interesting. Duly noted. I think you will find the mech mods will have a feminine touch. Many of them, I've started seeing them, and besides obviously the weapons of destruction, there will be many female accessories.
Awesome. No, I'm so happy. I was like really, and I had like a hard time choosing. Like, oh, I want that, I want that, I want that. But my wallet has only that amount of ETH.
It's an interesting process. You kind of throw a couple together based upon what you have, and then in the process of doing that, you run across, okay, well, now I want this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to spend. Let's keep going with rewards, and then we'll get to the discussion about that a little bit later. Okay. The other thing, the rendezvous point Inkwell. So on Thursday, I want to get as many people as possible into the Inkwell world. You can pop in a Discord voice if you want as well. We're going to get a group photo and video. So I've got it all set up so that I have a free cam that will run around and grab pictures of everyone. So bring your mechs or pick one in the entryway. I will have to get some thoughts on what a feminine weapon of destruction would equal versus a male one. Okay, so I wanted to do a review of the faction hangouts to start. So I've got a little video on that. Let me cue that up. And I want to talk about the creation of those, because I know you all have been having a blast with them. So let me start here. So this is the Shepherds of Celea. And they took the standard building. They added a lot of graphics. I love that ceiling. They made it a nice club hangout on the inside. And then outside, oh my gosh, Merc, talk about this.
90% of this was cakes. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Mox, Lisa, like Giant Wowie, obviously me, but this was all them. You know, the faction.
Yep. But I just thought the level of detail was really cool, and how they turned it into like a Roman statue garden. And then we missed the hot tub. We need a different name for that because it's more like an oil tub for the mechs. So if you haven't been in here, make sure to go take a look. Oh, and I love, did you notice like the CB, is that supposed to be like CB on the tile? And then I'm not sure what's going on over here.
I'm not sure. I think they did this like as a background in the same way like I threw the Wowie all the way in the back, because you can just put up a flat surface if you're not going to be directly in front of it.
Ah, okay. And then how did you get the animation for the Wowie going?
I just animated the GLB file, and you can actually, when you put down a GLB file, there's just a box you can tick that says animated, I think, or toggle. So if you have an animation on it, it'll just work.
And just as a reminder for everyone, these are holder created worlds. You know, so this isn't anything CyberBrokers did. All the holders decided to do these things, right? I'll take that as a yes. Okay, so let's move on and show now Chaos Princess, the winner circle.
Yeah, their big shout out goes to CBGB and Ballistic Banana, who put up the original model, and CBGB who did most of the world. And it was quite a ride, because when the quest said like fortify your hangout, like everybody was jumping in there, and we had like a ton of great stuff, like some mech head coming out of the floor, and the train, and bedroom, and dance floor, and everything. Still, then it worked only like on a gaming PC, and
Too many assets. Yeah.
Then CBGB did such an amazing job, because like this whole world is only I think 23 models, so I'm like super stoked how well this is optimized, and also like the light they did is like super interesting, with like the low night atmosphere at the hangout center, so to say, and like the bright lights actually around. So in real life, you're used to having that the other way around, and then we have like this speed run.
Yeah, there's still like two obstacle courses in it, right? Or is it
exactly,
one?
yeah. And downstairs, this was my contribution. I did like a winner's circle whale. And
yeah, I love the music here too.
Yeah, that's that's a little sound snippet from a Munich band called Disca, who covered Ramones, and which doesn't need much like download performance heaviness, and is quite good. You don't get like crazy by listening to it over and over.
Yeah, so I gotta try to finish this. I didn't have enough time while I was filming to finish, because I kept falling through like that. Have you finished this course, either of you?
Not yet. I was also like trying then go like, okay, I'll need some focused
Yeah, it
training
takes time, right? Yeah. I think this world has probably gone through the most iterations. I know I've seen you in there in the beginning changing a lot. You started like creating from the original building and then like adding to the courtyard, and then kind of decision was made to like scrap all of that and start over again. How many iterations do you think or versions do you think you've been through with this build?
So I first encountered the world when it was like still basic, like everybody, I think at Banana did that. Like everybody had like the same
You started the same.
hangout building, don't decorate that wall and so on. And then for the quest, I hopped in again. Then suddenly it was like yeah, very busy circle members. Like everybody put something in, and it was like a feast of mechs and trains and all kinds of beautiful things. But then we found out no chance that this works on a mobile. And then like
size, yeah.
The third iteration was that I think it was CBGB who put like lots of work into sorting like all the high-res models out and optimizing the models which had been there and combining them to one mesh. And now it's really super performant, and in regards of that performance, still a very fruitful paradise-like world.
It is interesting how designers kind of have to think about performance. This is when you create things for video production, you don't really worry about that because the end product is a video, right? In this case, the end product is a world someone's going to step in, and like you said, you've got to make sure it works on a phone. So have you changed your process at all with the concept that you need to think of that ahead of time?
I've been building in VR since 2016. Lucy, gleich. Lucy, Schätzchen, ich kann gerade nicht. Okay, Glückwunsch. This is my daughter. She just...
Hello!
Glückwunsch, Lucy. Congratulations. She just won something.
Yep. Say hello, of course.
And so I first encountered on web-based platforms like Mozilla Hubs or now Hyperfy how super important optimization is
up front.
So
yeah,
it's also for like the high-end platforms like VRChat or Neos VR. You can never not enough optimize, because like even there, if you save like 50% of polygons, then you can afford an additional script to run, or then you can afford a new particle effect. And it's also like, and even if you have like a simple world, if you optimize good, then people have badass frame rates, and that's what gamers love.
Yeah.
So optimization is really the key. And then on the other hand, and that's why I also love like the CyberBrokers aesthetics so much. Like I always tell people like, hey, Picasso, he painted like doves on a napkin and sold them big time. So you don't need to have like an oil painting or in digital realms like a billion polygons to have a cool aesthetic. But then on the other hand, like go think like, what can I do to have like the minimum possible storage, draw call, and performance amount. And this is I always use CyberBrokers as a fantastic example. Like the brokers themselves with the SVG graphics are storable on the chain. I mean that's so brilliant. And yeah, also like with now with the Macs and with the whole world building, it works on WebXR, and this is then like, sorry for going to that philosophical.
No, it's something people need to understand it, right?
And WebXR, on the other hand, is what we need to make the whole metaverse idea thrive, because not everybody got a gaming PC.
Yeah, and it's maybe a good way to put it is it's thoughtful use of technology. So like CyberBrokers with the SVG, there was significant thought put in ahead of time of how to create that visual effect in a reasonably storage size. And you're saying the same thing with the metaverse. We just need to be thoughtful as we create things to make sure that they work well. Okay. I think we're going to have a challenge in upcoming weeks to see who can get through this course. Let's move on and take a look at the Wayfarer hangout here. They completely replaced as well. So this is the they went the government building approach, I guess I would say, which works for them. And I love this poster over here. I believe this is Super Graphic who did all of these. And then there's the lounge with the arcade. They were having a little fun with the rest of you. I don't know if you could see that, but it was the 3 factions with the other 2 crossed out. And then they actually put offices for different people, as well as a gallery. I'm assuming they're going to add to that over time. And then the faction deputies each have an office. And they've got a library upstairs because, of course, government officials have lots of paperwork. And then their motto. And I'm assuming the triangle was kind of like a play off the Louvre. I've got an office, which I need to accessorize. And, of course, Vo's office with his guard. So yeah, I've loved watching everyone have fun creating, basically. I mean, that's kind of what the whole exercise of the faction hangouts was an opportunity to play, right? Merc, I know you've been playing a lot in those worlds as well now, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's change the subject and talk about missions in general. So what did you like about missions? Let's start there. And the crowd in chat can feel free to pipe in as well. Anything specific either of you were particularly fond of?
So for me, it was absolutely the building part, because I I had a Hyper-Fi world for a couple of months. I admitted it, but it was more like a placeholder.
You hadn't done anything yet.
And then we got like the quest to fortify our hangout, and we had like that Discord joke with Vale, and I was like, okay, let's do a low poly Vale for that. And then I was like, because this is like, you need to learn by experience. And then I put the Veil in, and I saw like Hyper-Fi has like the best, well sorted, most intuitive UI I've ever seen. and it was really like so much fun to fortify the hangout, so that I then even built my own world. So that made me lick blood. Still, I also loved how the quests created community, because everybody had like their own skill set, and I especially remember like last week's quest when we were like, okay, let's get everybody on time in case we need like 10 people to dive at the same time again. And then myself and I have to look the name up, and Banana and
Ballistic, yep.
Koshi.
Yep.
We did like the first encounter of finding all the clues and opening the rooms.
Inkwell, yep.
And then I was like, okay, but we still need to open like 7 rooms, and still don't even have like the recipe yet how to open them. We just know we did open them with that and that. And I was like, okay, wow, this is gonna be tough. And I went to sleep because it was late in Europe. And then the next day I wake up and look at the Discord, and
they're all done. Yeah.
There it was. Shout out to wait. Where's he? Big shout out to Syed, who then also like with the help of collaboration and like Google Sheet, managed to solve like that riddle, which made me dizzy from just looking at it. Like I never.
Knight and Silver at the end, Silver Ant, were the two that I think spent the most time overnight working on it. Yeah.
And this is what I so much loved, like the social aspect, like people with different backgrounds and different skills really not knowing each other yet, but getting coordinated on Discord, and then like putting all forces together. That's so wonderful, and that's also like a great value for the future.
Yeah, so I think that's, I love that summary. So the playing with other people, and a little bit of learning along with that, but the socialization, and then hitting something that is of particular interest to you. So the creation part was of particular interest to you. Interesting. Thank you. Mark, how about for you?
Probably similar. I kind of felt like, there was a little bit of something for everyone. There was things for the builders, the people that wanted to build in like Hyperfy and decorate and do that kind of stuff. There was things for the solvers, the people that want to do the puzzles, and there's varying things with the puzzles too, where you had like the ones that were a little bit more simple, and then the ones that were, that last puzzle, which were, a bit bigger and required a lot more coordination. And I also too would also add, like, if you're coming right now to go through the entire missions or whatever, it's doable with all the guides out there right now. So there's no excuse to just not, take an hour out of your time and just run right through it.
Good point. Yeah, and ask in Discord, people willing to help. There's guides in each faction in the sticky bot or pins, that will walk you through. I want to get to Steady Freddy's comment here. I need a world builder for dummies. I think we probably should, once missions are done this week, run a couple world building sessions. Like, let's just take a blank Hyperfy world and just, hop into Discord. And for those people that are interested, let's show them how it works. Because once you get used to it, it's not that hard. It's just a matter of starting. Is that a good way to say it? Yeah.
I would add too, is like, there really isn't a learning curve. It's very simple.
Yeah, but some people, we need to understand, like, how do you go find assets? Where do you go find assets? what type of assets should you be looking for, low poly, and some of that isn't, everyone doesn't understand those parts. So adding that in there would be helpful. Because a blank world needs stuff to put in it.
Yeah, but let's do that. Let's like collaborate and build like one hyperfi. All circles, all factions hang out together, and then
yeah, let's all agree. All factions can now get along until the next version comes out. But yeah, I think I would love, on the building part, I think Inkwell showed a good example of what could be done, from interactiveness, so you can click on things and things can occur. The NPCs are there, the mechs that we can kind of program to do things. We can get those moving around. You see the PvP mode. So I almost see two different tracks coming. So there's the get started with HyperFi and learning how to build. And then I'd love to take the people that are more interested in something more advanced, and I'd love to create a more interactive experience. Let's take Inkwell and let's add more to it. What else could we do in Inkwell? Could we get a PvP game going in there? Could we expand learning areas off to the side? What are CyberBrokers? What are mechs? I see all sorts of possibilities, but it's really up to the community to decide what they're interested in. Okay, is there any questions from the audience on rewards, either Mech Mods or the Mech Part Bundle? Any questions about finishing up version beta missions? Any questions from either of you that we didn't talk about yet? Merc, you're never shy for questions. I'm kind of surprised.
I think I got to review some of this. The only question I would have, and it seems like you might be tight-lipped on this on purpose, it is the mech bundles, are they dependent on the amount of assets you have, or is it just flat across the spectrum?
Good question. Flat across the spectrum. So there will be a number of parts. We'll tell you how many parts you're going to get of each, the revealed parts and the afterglow. There will be some minimums of what type or what model of parts that are included in those. And then everything else will just be random pull. Everyone gets the same chance.
Okay, that would be about the only question I'd have.
Okay. Cake, when do we meet again? Meet where? We can meet anytime you want. I think we have 2 meetings this week. The Rave on Wednesday and Inkwell photo shoot on Thursday. Hints on how many of which assets give which rarity. I'm assuming that's in relation to Mech Mods. How do I, to be honest, the numbers are going to define, so each player is going to have, a certain set of mechs and CyberBrokers that will create a calculation. We'll get a list of all the people that played and their numbers, and then it's just the top X% get this, the middle X% get that, and the last X% get the common. So I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, because this is only 1 per player. Those with large assets don't suck up the top tier by themselves, if that makes sense. So Each player with lots of assets gets one. So that top tier is about number of players, not about number of assets, if that makes sense. Yep, good point, Vo. Josie has committed to being at Among Us on Wednesday night, so let's go chase her around with knives. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Chaos Princess, any final thoughts?
Thank you so much. And I would be happy if you could check out my Hyperfile world,
Yes,
Chaotica, which is
yep.
like totally CyberBrokers.
Yes, right here. Good reminder. Make sure to check out. This is an amazing Hyperfile world created by Chaos Princess. Go take a look. And also, if you haven't seen Ballistics, make sure to take a look at his as well. Most people know that one, so I'm going to end and leave this one here. Chaos Princess, Merc, thank you so much. Look forward to having you back. And if people have other questions, feel free to ask in Discord. As a reminder, there is the Mona Shorts Festival going on. So for those who are storytellers and want to create something as a submission, there's also all sorts of great workshops going on every week that will help you better understand Mona. So make sure to take advantage of those. Let's say goodbye, everyone, and we are out.